Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to your reading. Thank you for your patience. Let's see when you purchased yours. I'm just trying to get an idea. 25th. Yeah, I probably would have had it done like 3 days ago, but I had like the craziest karmic stuff happen that just made it impossible to do any work. But I'm back, feeling good. So yeah, let's get to it. Let's see how many I have left for my May. My May reading is 1, 2. The readings that were bought during May. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 9, not bad. So 9, and then actually shit, yeah. 9, and then another. Sorry, I'm doing this doesn't count on the time or anything towards the time or anything. I'm just looking because I may have told someone wrong information. Okay, so 9 left. Yeah. Okay, so we're talking about a 46. 46 is the wait list. Although, yeah, 46. So it's getting there. People are gonna have to be patient, and I'm never gonna rush a reading. So if it takes 2 months, it takes 2 months. I've never taken. I mean, this will be probably the record, and the next one I do after will be the new record of how long it takes. But this is just what happens when you have a massive increase in demand, and it just keeps going and going, which I'm super grateful for. I never want that to stop. I just this is astrology. Isn't like some simple thing. Sacred. So anyways, let's go ahead and share the screen. Okay. So basically here we have a new moon, Pisces, baby. Oh, how sweet. Very, very interesting that it falls in the 9th house and that you chose me as your astrologer, because that I'm a Pisces, obviously, as you probably know, and the 9th house, and I'm a Sag moon, and you're a Pisces sun and moon, right? And the 9th house, where they both fall, is the house that's most closely linked to Sagittarius. So basically, that's going to give you a very Jupiterian vibe, kind of this inner well of optimism, although there's some obstacles to that, which we'll talk about. But yeah, not like too hard of karma. Just like first kind of like you do have like a Neptune squaring these two, because they're together. But aside that, I mean, it's just from the looks of it right now. Well, actually, no, I take that back. You have Pluto on the IC, which I also have too. Interesting. God, I should have had this in my list of easy charts, because this is such an easy one for me. Like, there's so many similarities, but whatever. It's not like, if I've taken a few days off, maybe it's good to have some one that like I have a lot of common parts in my own chart with. Start off. But yeah, okay. So Pisces, obviously, I don't really go into sun signs here. I expect people to know that, to know about their sun sign. But I'll say about Pisces, I'll say things that are like less obvious, like the fact that you need alone time, that the self-esteem, there can be issues with self-esteem and seeing the self clearly, right? And you're on this massive quest for truth, right? And you're really, really like philosophical, and your life purpose is really, really related around spirituality, but also philosophy, and kind of also learning to be your own, like learning to like kind of be, let's see what north is. Yeah, kind of learning how to be like your own boss in a sense, like really in charge of your own life, and learning how to embrace change. Those are also like massive karmic impetus. I don't even know what the plural of impetus, impetus. Yeah, like those are massive in your chart. With the North Node Scorpio conjunct Uranus in the 5th house. And you know, the fact like someone who has a South Node in Taurus, I'm gonna free flow. Like I've been kind of like experimenting with like different, like I have like different styles of doing readings depending on how I'm feeling. When I free flow, I kind of go, I kind of just go. Like I don't really take an order, and it's more of a download, more of like I always channel, but it's like a real like intense channel. Like I won't remember anything I say after, like right now. And I should actually get this crystal that I use when I'm in this, like really in this mode. These two. So yeah, so basically, I'll go back and forth to show my face and not. But yeah, maybe some readings, like when I don't feel like showing my face, it just won't. Like sometimes it's like, I don't know, I prefer being like hidden. But yeah, so that's kind of like a big part of the chart, as I said, you know, about the Pisces. Like learning to understand yourself. You're born. Okay, so you've been through the Saturn turn. You've been through, you know, some transits. So you matured, or you've gotten. You're not like I've been getting like quite a few young clients, which I love lately. So I have to always check the date, the birth year. But yeah, you know, when you have your sun, your moon together, it's a very strong. It's kind of like you're going in one direction, and it doesn't really, you don't feel held back, right? Like you're not like two ships going in two different directions, like or like one. I always say one ship with one captain that's going like each captain wants to go a different direction. Like it's very like centered, like water. You know, and then the ascendant in Cancer is also water, so you're like triple water. So you know, water obviously is like about emotions, and intuition, compassion. So you're probably, you know, obviously a very emotional person, very sensitive. But you know, the fact that Saturn's rising or even like in the 1st house is indicative of someone who might have issues, and Pisces often do. I mean, you are a woman, so it is easier for you in that sense. And I'm writing an article about this. And I'm not generalizing, I'm just saying, like, you know, it's common sense with toxic masculinity that like when a woman has like a, you know, lots of feminine energy in her chart, she's way easier able to like express it with her friends and talk about her emotions. Guys don't do that very rarely, you know. Talk about what's happening in her day, you know, be able to like all this, the things that girls do that really helps them. Have deeper friendships usually, like deeper in the sense of like I don't know, emotionally deeper, I'd say probably. But yeah, so like that's kind of the energy. And the conjunction, it means you're born on a new moon, or you're born like literally like hours before a new moon. So this life karmically is about new beginnings. You definitely had a pretty difficult childhood. I can see that. I did too. I mean, like I have the same Pluto on the IC, and you know, so there could have been some kind of really intense trauma, or something that just felt. Let's see, the nodes are. Yeah, something that just really like affected you in childhood. And okay, yeah. One second. I'm trying to look at these. Okay, so. And yeah, you know, also like the fact like that you know, Uranus. Okay, so that's something that's probably really big, and that led to you having like the shyness, right? Like Cancer risings are already shy. Saturn there, with the fact that you have this Pisces energy, can create shame. It can create, it can from the whatever that Pluto IC, Pluto on the IC, which the IC, yeah, it's a childhood. It's like, and it rules like our internal emotions. So people, and I got this message really clearly about myself lately. I just made a post where I kind of talked about it, but not like the actual details. But basically, when you have Pluto opposite the midheaven, like you do, your career success and your general level of like success in the world and like the big picture, right? Like you handling, like, for example, you know how like there's people who like they incarnate with their families, whatever, and they just like disagree about like one likes Trump, one likes, whatever, and then they just don't talk or whatever. Like, it's a random example, but like just like whatever like the important karma is, like fixing a childhood literally has a direct correlation with your success in your chart. And I just made a post about how like I was told that by my new friend who's like a clairvoyant, like medium, and she doesn't know anything about astrology. She actually saw that just through my reading my energy without like, like literally the first time we talked, and it led me to, take risks that felt uncomfortable. I knew I had to do them with family members. And, when we look at your Chiron, it is, like your pain, it's Jupiter. So it's, you definitely could be someone who, you're born that year where Jupiter was conjunct Chiron, and it's like nearly in, it's the same degree. So it's like an exact conjunction. It's in a fire sign. So it speaks further, the fact that like, there's a real lack of being able to kind of like it can be very difficult, even though, yeah, Jupiter is there to kind of help it out a little bit in Aries, right? Chiron in the Aries in a fire sign, it just makes it really hard self-expression, and like just kind of like being assertive, and being and taking charge of your life can be difficult, right? And yeah, the Saturn, so you probably got like a lot less shy, and especially when it comes to like, like speaking about your emotions, like probably after the Saturn return. And I think that, I know for a fact that like you heal yourself by learning like about spirituality, anything esoteric, occult, anything, anything like that just is like provides you with like this feeling of like escape, and like another perspective of reality, like higher truth is so important to you. So, there's also some Aquarius energy in this chart, with Venus and Mercury conjunct each other in the 8th house, right? So that speaks further to this interest you have in the occult and the esoteric, and this could even be very beneficial for like an inheritance, or benefiting somehow from other people's resources, whether it's like a marriage or like a job where you're managing other people's money, something like that. But then, speaking of money, second house ruled by Leo is ruled by Leo, and then you have, ruling plan of your second is in your 9th, which is in Pisces, conjunct the moon, square Neptune. I mean, you're just talking about there can be like a level of confusion over finances for sure. And, speaking further about that, there can just be a level of overall confusion. Like Pisces by itself is already Neptunian. There's already this fog. But when there's a square with Neptune, especially the moon one can create someone that's so empathetic that they're empathetic to like to where it's like it affects their life negatively, like until they learn how to, I guess, separate themselves from. One second. Okay, yeah, until they learn to like really like separate themselves, and learn like ways to not take in all the energy. Let's say like you're working like in a clinic or as a psychologist, like it would be difficult for you to not, like with animals or something, like it'd be difficult for you to not take in all of the difficult energy, right? And there's techniques obviously you can learn, and it's kind of something that you get better with at time. I believe that in your chart, kind of like mine, like your philosophy of life and kind of how you see the big picture can affect this. Like when you see everything is like karma and everything is like this revolving, you know, like life after life, you know, like the good and the bad both exist for you know, for reasons that are like for their own reasons, like then it can get a lot easier. I mean, you're still experiencing it, but it's like not as bad. But yeah, like it creates like lots of self-esteem issues, lots of battles you have to really go through in order to feel strong and confident about yourself. And like Saturn on the ascendant is not making the ascendant easier, and you know, Pluto on the ISP is kind of like saying like, okay, there's adverse childhood effects, not effects, events that, this is kombucha, by the way. I do not drink alcohol, like literally like less than 10 times a year. Yeah, so there can be like a victim mentality. That's another thing about Pisces. There can be like this victim mentality you have to watch out for. And like especially when they're young, Pisces, like heavy people can kind of like they can be very isolating, and when reality gets too like ugly, they can just start to like find ways that they can escape it. So you have to watch out for like drugs and alcohol, but it can also be like other ways, like kind of like I don't know, I can't think of any examples, like creating like an imaginary world and kind of living in that world, like video games, stuff like that. Also have to watch out with Neptune, with people like trying to like deceive you and trick you. You know, being like Cancer rising can have someone like, it's like very, very beautiful because it gives this very nurturing, trustworthy energy that you put out there. So I think, you know, with someone that has like, you know, this aspect, these, you know, this all this Neptunian energy, it's very important to understand like the high and low energy of Pisces, because and even Cancer, they're very similar in that sense. Like you know, you've heard the thing about Cancer, how when it gets hurt, it crawls in its shell and it never trusts again, right? Or it's like very difficult for Cancer once they've been hurt. Well, sorry, I'm moving around a lot because I ran today and my legs are super sore. Not super sore, but pretty sore. I did way more sore. But yeah, it's kind of the same with Pisces. Like, you know, I'm a Pisces, and I remember like feeling bad for myself and stuff when I was like young, and just kind of like wallowing in that and almost like enjoying it in a weird way. That can be very bad. And you know, I wrote an article recently about how, very important article, like, you know, for people who want to understand astrology, how it's really important that you understand the axis. You know, you're especially being having your sun and moon in the same like conjunct, understanding like, okay, so you're a Pisces, what's the opposite sign of Pisces? Because that is the same energy, it's just an opposite manifestation, and that's Virgo. So every Virgo can learn a lot from Pisces, and every Pisces can learn a lot from Virgo. Because like I said, it's like a line 0 to 100, Virgo, Pisces, and there's 6 axes in astrology, and each one is like that. So yeah, basically learning to be responsible, learning to you know, make to-do lists, to stick, you know, to try your best to like to find ways to ground yourself, to stick to, because you have no earth in your chart, you're like me, so it's very difficult for you to find groundedness, right? And as Pisces can really have trouble sticking to a schedule, and because it's like so hard, because it's so emotional, there's so much up and down, especially with the square of Neptune and your moon, which can, like, you know, add lots of emotional confusion and emotional fog. I'll talk more about that in a little bit, but it can be really difficult to like say that's like why I do these readings the way I do them, right? It's 3:47 a.m. And you know, like if I like I can't like know, and this also has implications to your career, which is, you know, midheaven in Aries, right? Which is like speaking about like, you know, it's ruled by Mars in the 12th house. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Like kind of like an entrepreneurial spirit, like pioneering spirit, wanting to do things on your own. But that's kind of, it's difficult for people with Pisces to like really like be consistent in life when they, especially when they have no Earth, and be able to like know that like having like a 9-to-5 job, for example, it's like in corporate America would be very difficult for a chart like yours, right? And it would probably be better to have like a job as like a psychologist. I'm sure like, or you know all this already, like, but like that's not to say you couldn't do it. Like I don't like giving people the idea that they like you can overcome anything in your chart. That's like the big thing that I always I need to stress it like more, like every single reading I do, right? That like, you know, just because you have this, like like back to kind of the low and the high manifestation of Pisces, like the low manifestation, like I said, I was like, you know, it's not dealing with reality. Basically, it's not dealing with reality, and it's you know, blaming others, playing the victim, because it's not necessarily the strongest sign, like, you know, from like I guess like it can get pushed around by other signs, right? One second. So, but like other like stronger energies, and it's so susceptible to, you know, but it also gives like like one of the really cool things about Pisces is that it gives like this major chameleon energy. And it's very adaptable. It's very adaptable. It can be around all different types of like cultural groups, or like, you know, like it could be around people that believe in this, believe in that, and you can kind of adapt because you have this sixth spidey sense of like how people, like, you know, like understand that there's forces that connect all of us as humans, right? And that we're not really that different, you know, it's just about conditioning. And Pisces understand that, and it's, you know, Pisces is a lot of science, it's about oneness, and, you know, your chart definitely speaks to that, right? Now, ninth house, you know, I imagine traveling is definitely something that like you have to do. And when I say traveling, I mean traveling physically to different countries, and traveling metaphorically, through like learning like different philosophies, and because ultimately like what's going to make you like most fulfilled on like a life purpose and emotional like a need level and like a goal level is like figuring out in this life what you like figure out how, like the highest truth that you can find. You know, hopefully this kind of helps with that, but like there'll be you know, other things. So it's like about taking risks, and yeah, taking risks. So along with taking risks, I'm going to share this again for a little bit. You know, this is all over your chart karmically, right? We see the south node, right? It's in Taurus. So south node Taurus people, there's a tendency in past lives to be a little bit risk adverse, right? Not necessarily take the easy route, but it's in the 11th house. So it's like, yeah, there can definitely be a tendency, you see south node, to kind of like, you know, rely on your friends. You know, it's kind of like the energy of the person who's like born in this, you know, born in they kind of just like, you know, are born somewhere, and they stay with the same friends their whole life, and you know, they're just happy with what it is, which isn't a bad thing at all, obviously. But you know, what happens like is that it kind of makes it so, you know, bigger and better things aren't available when you just stick with like the same stuff your whole life, right? And a lot of people, so south node Taurus can have a blockage when it comes to having the confidence that if they take a risk, you know, like for example, a perfect example is my life. I don't know how long you've been following me, but you know, I moved to Romania like 3.5 years ago, and you know, I'm like the biggest risk taker ever, which like I don't like your chart actually has like lots of elements of being a risk taker, right? With the, I guess there's no Sagittarius planets, but you know, you do have that bull Jupiter, Chiron, or I mean, excuse me, just the Jupiter part. Well, I'll get back to that. Don't worry. Jupiter in Aries can be quite bold, right? And that it is conjunct Chiron, so maybe you're meant to be a healer. That's like one aspect, but yeah, like basically like there's definitely like past lives where you held yourself back because you attached too much to whether it was a group or whether it was like anything like we don't get like as astrologers, like we don't there's not like I'm not psychic, so I'm not like getting like a vision of like what it was, but I understand the theme. And the fact that's really interesting is that your south nodes, like the been there, done that in past lives, right? Like who you've been, the tendency, the layup, the thing that comes really easy to you, right? So like a lot of times people like they go towards their south node is in an earth sign. So it makes me think that you've conquered the earth energy. You've conquered like the kind of material world, the kind of being, I'd be curious, and I know you have no follow-up. I would love to, if you're able to like schedule one, because it definitely is the best thing to do, because we're able to compare your actual lived experience with what I say here. I wish I was able to actually no, because like I can't do readings like that, because I think that this is the purest type of a reading, in my opinion, from how I do it, because of course, yeah, it is true that like a lot of astrologers, they just book a time with them, and yeah, I mean, I can see that it's kind of like, yeah, it depends on the person, right? Like I can see the merit of doing it live, but for me, I don't like being interrupted. I don't like having questions asked, and but one day I might have to like start becoming like that, but I might just like have to make a rule, like you just like save all your questions, just listen. But then again, it's so dense, everything I'm saying, it's like I feel like people get kind of lost, and it's better to have like be able to watch it multiple times, pause, rewind, look something up, and then write notes, and then have a follow-up. That's how I feel about how I do it, but we'll see. But anyways, yeah, back to your chart. Little monologue there. Yeah, there's definitely this push. So you've conquered Earth, and you don't have any Earth in this life. So, but like I like that's like kind of what I want to know about, is like I wonder like how, if that's an actual challenge, and maybe because your Juno is in Virgo, an Earth sign, right? Juno's like what you look for, like basically it's like what your dream marriage mate is like, right? So it's definitely like kind of a mercurial, like kind of mental connection, I guess you could say. Someone very dependent. Yeah, someone very dependent, and someone who you can really communicate with. I'll go back to sharing my face. So yeah, those things are really important. And yeah, like, so yeah, it's basically a lot different than a lot of other charts I've seen that don't, like my own, like that don't have any Earth, because of the South node being an Earth. So there can be a tendency to have Earth, like earthy energy, without even having any in the chart, which is super interesting. But going towards down here, I'm not showing anymore. Like in the North node in Scorpio conjunct Uranus, that's like it's literally saying like this lifetime you're trying to individuate, you're trying to like become a more like, because in past lives you've been too shaped by the people around you, and kind of like influenced by them, and you haven't had enough time like kind of alone. And that's another thing, Pisces spend a fuck ton of alone time, excuse my language, for emphasis. But so as a double Pisces, you're someone who picks up on so much energy that you actually need to be alone to really understand, what's yours and what's theirs. And it helps you connect with yourself better and recharge when you're alone. And that's really important to know, like romantically. I don't know if you're married or single or whatever, but you know, you do have 12th house Mars in Gemini also. So you have all these indications of someone who is quite very, very introverted, right? And, you know, with the Scorpio North Node in the 5th house, it's about also taking like a creative risk on yourself in this life, right? And the importance of that. And having it like I always give this metaphor because I just feel like it's so fitting, but you have to understand, like I speak in metaphors. And you're a Pisces, so you will understand. It's not even that deep of a metaphor, but like, because I'm not speaking literally about it, but like art therapy, you know how like, okay, so in art therapy, you know, you're obviously with a therapist and you're drawing or painting, right? And through that process, you're learning a lot about yourself. Like, let's say you start criticizing, oh, this sucks, or I can't do this. Like, then the therapist might actually, I've never learned art therapy, but like, I'm kind of, I think I've done like one session of it, like without school. We had to do like, you know, I've done 2 masters in psychology, so we had to do like these like triads and stuff, or they're called, what's it called, dyads. Yeah, we switch off. So yeah, basically like art therapy is very much about you know, so for example, like you'd be like, oh, I fucking suck, I can't do this and that, excuse me again. They'd be like, oh, well, let's explore that. Like, why do you think you suck, you know? And it's kind of that same process, taking a creative risk on yourself. Because in art therapy, whatever you create, you're not posting it on the internet, you're not sharing that. You know, maybe you know, maybe it doesn't go in. I don't know what people do with the art they create in therapy, you know, but it's therapeutic is the main point of it. So like, you know, I made like 2 videos today. I've been making videos every day lately because I'm going through like very dramatic times. And basically, yeah, Chiron has been activated, like really, really activated in my chart. But essentially, like, and this is a good example of this, is that I post a video, I start filming myself, I have no idea what I'm gonna say. I don't even know if I'm gonna post it. Like a lot of them I haven't posted, right? I only post it if I think that like there can be some usage, like if I think like, you know, even like 1 or 2 people, like literally, like I know it's a lot more than that, but like even if I think that a few people will watch it and it will help them in some kind of random way, and I love to get feedback from people to like kind of validate that, right? I'll post it, but it's kind of the same energy. It's like finding creative ways for you to individuate, for you to kind of like, and it can be, you know, so like journaling could be one of them, but like, you know, with the Northern Scorpio is about the depths, right? So that's why you have so much water in your chart, because in past lives you shied away from like the emotional side, the emotion, like the emotions, and like going into your shadow and really feeling into that, right? So that's why you have like all water in this lifetime, right? Because you've been deficient in past lives in water. So one way to really get in touch with that water part of you, which obviously you are double Pisces, so like, you know, it's not gonna be that hard. It's gonna be pretty easy. But still, you know, like I said, like some like Pisces can still be quite repressed, even though they are so sensitive. Repressed, like they might not want to feel their emotions. They might not want to express them, right? Especially with Saturn rising. It can be to find a creative outlet, and you know, you can't change the fact that you're sensitive, extremely sensitive. You can't change the, you know, but what you can work on is like being able to like articulate it. And, you know, being that, you know, Mercury and Venus are together, that would give you a great advantage in terms of that articulation, and just in terms of the communication and, you know, how you think in general, because Venus makes everything prettier and nicer. And Venus and Mercury together creates an energy where your thoughts have a more optimistic, you know, kind of, there's like, yeah, they're more positive, I guess you could say. And then from like a love perspective, because it makes you like, you know, Venus in Aquarius, I have that too, exact same degree. Damn, it's crazy. 12 degrees. Yeah, like so it's exact same thing. It's like you need tons of space in relationships, just like you do in everyday life. And like you really need to be understood. I can really feel seen and heard. And when you do feel like that, you feel super grateful because you understand that you're not like you're a very unique person. And you understand that like not everyone in the world is just gonna get you right away. Like it's so when you do meet someone that gets you and that like is curious to kind of like try to understand this Devil Pisces girl, and how she operates, like I totally feel you. I'm like that too, and it's really, for me it's a struggle, and I've never had a relationship where it hasn't been a struggle. I've never met a girl that like is kind of like me in the sense that she we're where we can both sit in the same room and both be like focused and passionate about like what we're doing, and then come together like after and have like shared passions. Like it's just never, relationships are never perfect, that's the thing I've learned. And that you kind of have to like not settle, but you could spend your whole life waiting. And that's the other thing about Pisces in love, is that they can be very overly idealistic, and they can kind of have this like perfectionist energy when it comes to relationships. And that's another thing about Virgo Juno, is that exact thing. And they can spend their whole lives like waiting for this perfect romantic partner that they dreamed about, or they like like Disney movie stuff, and then that person just doesn't come. So it's about there's a big need to have some level of realism. I'm gonna go back to the chart. Some level of realism, right? Some level of like reality of there's no perfect people. And if you can find someone that where there's potential, and where there's compatibility, where expect, like, most important, that you feel safe and comfortable to express like your up and down emotions, and your dreams, and the way you see the world, which is probably much different than you probably have like a somewhat distorted view of reality, which is very abstract. And it was probably a struggle for you early on, but you can turn it into like creative genius level energy. And I can second that by the fact that not only you have the square of Neptune in the moon, so your moon and sun square Neptune, difficult, but then they are trining your north node in Uranus. So that makes this part of your chart extremely important. The 5th house in Scorpio, north node in Uranus, right? So yeah, I'm kind of thinking, should I go more into the, like what I was saying before with the Venus before I go into this? Whatever, we're just flowing. I'm gonna wrap around and cover everything either way. But yeah, like as I said before, 5th house is fun. It's inner child. It's so like when you have your Chiron in a fire sign, the inner child was wounded at some point, and inner child slash that ability to really think, that the third chakra, like to really think like I can do it, I can, and it's the first sign area. I think of all fire signs, it's kind of like what I love about them is that they're not afraid to be themselves, and if like they're not afraid to act like a little, just like act like themselves, like whatever that is. And we are all children at the core. And that's kind of, and like when that's blocked, it can be difficult, right? So yeah. So the trine, with that in Uranus, I mean, that could potentially be like genius type energy. I imagine your parents have a very good relationship. I'm just guessing. New moon, usually that means like that they see eye to eye, and that there's a general contentment. However, I don't like to make those claims, because I've seen it go I've seen it not go that way. I've seen it like, And when you have Pluto in the ISP, you know, it definitely, there's some trauma there that you know, if you, and by the way, if you want to do the follow-up, you can message me and I will give you you know, a price that's good, that's a lot, that's less than is on my website, and that yeah, like it's super important. Like if you do your, like if you're doing like one astrology reading in your lifetime, I understand finances are limits to everyone, but like, you know, this is important stuff. And unless you've done your chart a lot of times, I mean, it's not, like, it's more than like a high suggestion. It's almost like unless it's like a huge barrier, like and this is how I'm gonna start being. I'm gonna start just being really honest with people. It's close, like it's not a must, but it's like, let's just say it makes the reading, the process, like way better. Unless like I'm so, like you have experience with your chart and you're one of those people that's really like able to, like, you know, you have like a level of astrology understanding, and you know, this feels enough. And sometimes I do readings where it just does, you know, like there's not really any confusion. I kind of just laid it out. So yeah, but so yeah, so learning to be yourself is super, like being yourself, really important, but also going through death, rebirth, transformation. So like, you know, allowing old parts of yourself, you know, this Taurus South Node stuff, right? It's so linked to just like what in your life, you know, like allowing the things, people, environments, whatever it is, in your life, that are no longer serving you, like having the courage to like kind of surrender and like let go and create space for new to come in, for the new to come in, right? Because if your life is full, if all your friends' thoughts are taken, if, you know, like if all, you know, everything in your life is already defined, you know exactly what you're gonna be doing each week, there's no room for like any surprises, like what's gonna happen, you know, you can already predict it. So then, okay, aside from that, there, you know, like, okay, the square obviously is impacting you big time. I was just closing my eyes while I was doing that. I kind of liked it. I was like, but I feel like too weird to do that on like camera. Hi, Felix. Look at my cat. He brings me his ball to throw down the stairs. I'll just give you a little Felix cam. Felix. You see him? That is a boy. We call him the boy. So anyways, Felix. So with the moon square Neptune, I want to kind of go back to that. Like, it's just like, it doesn't, like, you're probably the 99 percentile or the maximum of sensitivity, like being so sympathetic and also so perceptive, very, very intuitive. But the thing is that like that's even just as a Pisces moon, but when it squares Neptune, you know, it's like the relationship with your mother specifically is extremely important. If you had a more positive relationship with your mother, like you know, how your mother nurtured you, it has it's like the biggest, like a Neptune square moon. It's like so insane how much of a difference it makes. Like you can have two people both of that aspect, one who had amazing nurturing right from their, you know, the mother, or just like parents in general, and like usually the moon is the mom, and one that didn't, and their lives will be like completely different, right? So, but judging, yeah, that's like why, like, I want to know, because like you have the sun conjunct moon, so it's like, okay, that tells me that like usually that's like the parents have a similar worldview. Usually there's like kind of like a, you know, a bond, like the sun and the moon in the same sign, like it's a bond, right? But then there's Pluto, which could be, which on the IC, which is literally like a childhood. There's some type of like trauma in childhood. So those two could be unrelated. But yeah, a lot of people that have like Neptune squares, you know, it's just like, you know, like there are definitely challenges with women. And the key, you know, like one of the big keys to your entire chart with the Saturn on the ascendant too, is getting past the shyness and learning to express your emotions, right? And learning to like show your more sensitive side, especially in groups, which by the way, I know you have a follow-up, but like there's something we can talk about related to that. If we end up talking, you just have to remind me. But yeah, like there can definitely be like false realities, suspicions, depression, paranoia, addiction for sure is a potential. So what else can I say about this? Also, like you being able to like kind of like speak like you know how like I make videos, right, where I speak about stuff that like I would have never spoken about like 6 years ago or something like that out loud, like for everyone to see. But I just stopped giving a fuck, and I realized like even when I'm not at my best, that people like to see people like you. People like really value seeing someone just speaking their truth when it's not all like flowers and cream and everything is nice, flowers and spice and everything is nice. It's like when they're just speaking their reality, their truth, you know. So like being able to do that is really good. Like sharing your feelings of suffering with people, because you are definitely like a dreamer and a storyteller for sure. And like I said, like everyone that has like all these Neptune, like big Neptune placements, like use like film yourself, like literally do what I do. You don't have to post it. Either like use your mirror or like literally like film yourself, or you know, like because Neptune rules cameras, and that's like literally a way like that you can get past the difficult parts of this aspect, is by filming yourself, just expressing your raw, vulnerable emotions. And you know, you can literally just like my cat's going crazy, like just delete it right after, but you'll see like there's magic to it. I did the other night. I was so stuck. Nothing made me feel happy. I was in this very weird mood just a week ago or so, and yeah, it's very bizarre. There's nothing that kind of should have made me feel that way. And I made this, you know, this video that I was gonna post originally, right? And I ended up like screwing it up and I'm posting on my personal Instagram, which obviously I didn't want to post it there, so I just ended up deleting it because like it wouldn't stop showing loading. But after doing that, even though I didn't post it, I felt so relieved. Like I got what was inside out, right? So very important stuff. Yeah. So, you know, with the Aquarius 8th house, I mean, that like you'll love the occult, love the esoteric, love anything different. I talked about your love language a little bit, like how you know, expressing your individuality, and you'll probably go for like the more like just different types of people, you know, maybe a little eccentric, like you know, maybe there's like a big gap in age, or maybe like Venus and Aquarius people, like they literally don't give a shit about tradition when it comes to like what they value. And they're very like whether it's their music, what, you know, what they spend their money on, or you know, who they love or what they love, you know, or what they value in themselves, right? And I think that you can gain a lot of power by learning a lot about the like whatever occult subjects interest you, whether, you know, and if you ever want to take astrology classes, and I'm like I do this like I realize I have to do this, or people will literally never know that I am a freaking astrology teacher, and that I absolutely love it. And I offer one-on-one classes that are better than these schools that cost $6,000 or $7,000, where I've talked to people who like don't learn anything from them. But you know, you can also teach yourself just as good, you know, if you're able to do that. And that, like, you know, astrology or anything like related to the 8th house, studies of life after death, like really getting in tune with the mystical side is going to help you a lot. And it's also going to help your life purpose, right? Of advancing the higher mind, and getting close to this Piscean energy, which the high Pisces energy is this oneness with everything. You know, where you're not so, I'm gonna go back into my channeling mode. I think I'm just gonna do this every reading now. I'm just gonna like close my eyes for like I don't know, a quarter of the reading, and just like chant, like just like hold my crystals. So like the high Pisces mode is like when you can see all the life cycles as part of just one, and understand, and like it's about closeness to God. You know, just like that highest energy. It's a combination of every sign. So quite literally, like Pisces is everything and nothing. And it's about surrender. It's about giving without, you know, giving and living a life of service, right? Where, you know, you're here and you have compassion, and you want to use these gifts to help people. Not saying that that's supposed to be your job, but I think that everyone is meant to help people, especially people that come to me. They're usually the more empathetic types, you know, they're the more spiritually advanced, which, you know, I mean, it's true that there's lots of spiritually advanced people who aren't into astrology or into spirituality at all. You know, it's just more their natures, right? They just haven't found it. Like, I was still spiritually advanced before I liked astrology, you know. But yeah, that's kind of like getting like, and then also sacrificing is a key word with Pisces, like you know, standing up for the underdog, and yeah, just like getting through the shyness by understanding that you have these skills when it comes to the arts. You have these skills when it comes to like understanding like poetry and stuff like that other people just don't get, you know. And being super empathetic, and being able to have a friend who like being able to like understand any emotion. Your emotional intelligence is so high, and intuitive intelligence and spiritual intelligence. So it's all about like with your Mercury in the 8th house and Aquarius, like you might like think and speak in very non-traditional ways. And you know, Uranus is definitely a big planet for you, so you might kind of feel a little bit alien, which sometimes can make one feel a little bit ostracized. It could be that, or just feel like they're different, but like it's not in a bad way. It's a trine, the Uranus trine the moon sun, but the sun and moon square Neptune, that's gonna, yeah, just it can lead to that kind of mental confusion, not mental, excuse me, like emotional confusion and everything I already talked about. And yeah, yep. So 12th, okay, so then Mars, right? So Mars like is in the 12th house. That's a difficult place to have Mars, because you know Mars is your assertiveness function, which already having Cancer rising, it's gonna, you know, it's you know, you're it's not to say that like Cancer rising is like, you know, like Kanye West is like the first Cancer rising that came to mind, but like, you know, the fact that you have all water in your big three is just, and you have like what, no air, or no earth, excuse me, but like where's the you have air in the 12th house though, so it's hidden. You have not really anything besides air and water. Air, you have Gemini, Mars, and Venus and Mercury and Aquarius, and then tons of water. And then, you know, for fire, Jupiter, I kind of count it as like a middle planet, but I don't really look at the signs that much of outer planets like when I do these readings, because they're more generational. Not that they don't have effects, but you know, it's like, yeah. So with Mars in 12th house, you know, you can be someone who self-sabotages. I'll write myself. Who self-sabotages, and it's something you have to watch out for. And yeah, like the sense of personal power can be like somewhat like broken and hurt. And there can be like, what happens in 12th house Mars people a lot is that there can be these like emotional outbursts out of nowhere where you're like, what the fuck? And when it's in Gemini, you know, sign of communication, Gemini Mars people, they use like their weapons are their words. Like they know how to, like they're very, very good arguers. They typically know how to use their words very well when they have to. And being someone that has like such advanced emotional intelligence, like if you are really pissed at someone, you would know exactly how to hurt them and where it hurts most, right? Which can kind of give you like a Scorpio kind of vibe. And I want to see something. I wonder if I'll find a page. Yeah, so so yeah, I just reading like really about like, you know, the 9th house of mental exploration, sun there, planet, you know, it's like you enjoy seeing new places and exploring new ideas. You're a person who stands by your word and tends to be idealistic. You may spend a good deal of time traveling abroad. Good point. You believe in and pursue an education. Bad point. May become fanatical about your ideas. That's, yeah, so you have to watch out about that low Sagittarian energy of like being fanatical about your ideas, being dogmatic, like thinking everyone has to like have the same path to learning that you do. So then the moon there says you have a receptive, imaginative mind, capable of delving into philosophical ideas. You are attracted to by the unknown. In your work, you may delve into history or the past. At some time in your career, you're likely to benefit from in-laws or relatives of the person you marry. The good point, you'll have happy experiences on voyages or travel. Bad point, tendency to be vague, dreamy, and impractical. So yeah, it definitely does create this real, like you're very interested in the unknown parts of life and the secrets of life, right? So using that to your advantage, and kind of linking that to your creativity, right? Because like when you have sun and moon can, you know, trine north node, like the highest, and the north node conjunct to Uranus, it's like basically saying that the highest energy of Pisces mixed with Uranus, so of like Aquarius mixed with Pisces, which are the two last signs, is your, that's like, you know, your mountain never climbed and past, like that's where you're trying to get. So you're trying to get to a very, like your life is really, really about spirituality. Even though there might be a tendency to be like, you know, like in materiality. But, you know, I don't see any parts of your chart that indicate to me someone who is meant to like spend their life building up this massive business. I mean, yeah, you have Jupiter in the 10th house, like, and you do have that, you know, lots of explosive, like lots of Aries energy, like in the 10th. So there could be this ambition in that area, like, so I gotta say that. And then also that Saturn rising people, once the Saturn turn hits, they become less shy and they're way more able to be very responsible, kind of, even if you're a Cancer rising, more like a Capricorn. But yeah, the Mars can like mix with everything else and can really give you like a vague sense of direction at times. And yeah, and you know, Mars in Gemini, yeah, so it's like it's in the 12th house, but yeah, like it could really benefit you to find something you can do with your hands, if it's like guitar, you know, anything like that is creative with your hands, I think is like some, like even writing, you know. And your 3rd house ruled by Mercury, which is So yeah, like writing about the like journaling about like the occult or the esoteric, whatever it is, eighth house, like the things that really intrigue you. Very, very, very can be very, very key. A little bit more about love. Descendant is also in Capricorn, so you I think you might like be very attracted to someone that has Earth in their chart, because you don't have any, and even though you have your South Node there, you don't have any present life energies that can provide you that Earth, which is like that grounding. So to make up for that, you can go on hikes. You can like do things like gardening, like cooking your own food, meditating, slowing down, right? That's really important. And like, this eye is so sore. I don't know what's going on. So I just see like major creativity in your chart, but like I wonder, like, and it's okay if you don't want to share it with anyone, but you have to like go that direction of creating, and if you do have kids, they're going to be very, very linked to your karma, and that actually might be what this is saying, what this trine is saying, and they will be very individualistic kids, with Uranus in the 5th house, and you might have like very like just kind of like eccentric pursuits, things that you're interested in, hobbies. So yeah, that's that. And Neptune the 6th, I mean, that on its own, Neptune the 6th can kind of create like a vagueness, like I have this too. So it's difficult for you like to do the whole daily life thing, like being the same each day. That's basically what I said earlier. I'm saying it again. Having a boss like that, like, is like looking over your shoulders, is like your biggest nightmare. And like, yeah, you have difficulty coping with everyday life. I totally resonate with you on that one. That's why I wish you get it. I'll literally give you like the follow-up for $80. You have to remind me, and that's like, I think they're like on my website. I had to raise prices because my demand was getting more and more. So if you remind me, I will legitimately give you a follow-up for $80, which is insane. I'm never going to do that again with anyone, but it's like, I want to know. Yeah, on my website, live follow-up, $150. So that's like literally freaking way off. So, yeah, writing about the things that delve deep beneath the surface is really important. Neptune, I said that. So yeah, Neptune the 6th, Neptune also, it rules your 9th house. So there can also be like some real like otherworldly experiences when you travel. You have to travel. And yeah, you won't like the kind of like the daily life that like a lot of people like it'll be very difficult for you. So you'll probably want like a more eccentric kind of job. Eccentric, I always say that word, but I mean like individualistic. So that's why like Uranus is trying your sun, your moon, and it's conjunct your north node. So if you follow that like the right way, you'll be someone who is like kind of a rebel, and someone who's broken free from conditioning. And but it's not done in a way that's like offending other people, like a square in opposition would be. It's done in a way that's like kind of cool, kind of ingenious. So yeah, like there's a past life tendency to like really want peace at all costs. In this life, you kind of have to be like, what, that's not always possible. And yeah, just being open to new possibilities and change and transformation, like stripping away the old to make way for the new, as I said before. Also, I'll look at one thing. Actually, where is that? 1 second. I guess I have it in here too. Yes, I found it. Wait. Okay. I guess because it just gives like little keywords that I can expand on. Mercury, Venus, cheerful, lighthearted, artistic, native, leans towards literary and creative pursuits. Very nice. And that's a good explanation. Oh no, conjunction. Excuse me, that wasn't it. Charm of speech, as I said before, balance between mental activities and love of art and beauty. That's what it is. So charm of speech. So it really, really helps you. And you know, having Aquarius there, 8th house, you'll be a very original thinker with original ideas, and you'll really like to have like a group of like close friends that you can like really exchange like your ideas with. You're a very inventive thinker, and you rebel against like the old and traditional ideas. And yeah, obviously the 8th house, Venus and Mercury it's like all about like the meaning of life and seeking that from within yourself and kind of link the shadow work. So kind of getting close here. You know, obviously like Saturn in the 1st house, you know, like it creates lots of a big reticence to express yourself, especially early in life. And when you get to the first Saturn return, when you got the first Saturn return, that probably became a lot easier, but it can still, you know, still be there. There can be definitely feelings of inadequacy that are very easily seen by others, like lacking confidence. I do like this, but like it can make one, and it can also make one very cautious. And I think overall it can end up being very good for business, very good for like being someone that people can count on. But yeah, they can be very, very cautious. And you know, Saturn in Cancer, that you know, that I've been kind of talking about Saturn signs a little bit more lately. Which doesn't this book have like all that stuff? One sec. But yeah, it's just like basically like Saturn water signs, especially Pisces. But you know, I always think of it as like well, Pisces is like the one where it's really intense karma. But yeah, just like it speaks more about being like emotionally inhibited and shy, where you can feel isolated within your own family. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, here it says Saturn encourages too much dependence on others in this emotional and clingy sign. A love to overindulge in eating, drinking, and other essential pleasures in this position, though Saturn also gives a shrewdness and tenacity to your personality. Superb at seeing a task through to completion. Also ambitious and strive to find material wealth to make your life secure. And like the biggest obstacles are like lack of like things I talked about already, like lack of confidence. And yeah. And like having to have taken like family responsibilities at a very young age. So yeah, interesting stuff. So I said all that. I said all this. I said all that. So okay, I said this. Okay. So yeah, the skip step in past life, you know, could be related to. Wait, hold up. Yeah, I was like, what? No, trying. I mean, usually what this indicates is that it's like good karma between both parents, but then square with Venus and Mercury. I usually read this one. Yeah, it's right here. But basically, like, you know, with Venus here in Aquarius, you know, like I said, like the issue with Venus and Aquarius, like, I mean, like I said, I am this, so it's like it takes a very special partner to understand that like you're so good at giving space but you need to have space. And especially as a Pisces, with all this other stuff that we have in common, like you'll have your most like ingenious like ideas that lead to you like going towards your life path. Like we have kind of similar life paths, honestly. Like obviously there's a lot of differences, but we have kind of similar reasons we're here. Like kind of, right? Like for you, a lot of it's like breaking through. I mean, I definitely don't have this fire thing you have, like this, like I have like fire is like very easy for me to express. But you know, definitely some of the other stuff. And you know, with Venus and Mercury, you know, those two squaring the nodes, I just think that like the thought process and the way you communicate in past lives was more wasn't based on your true self as much, and that also made it so your relationships weren't based on your true self as much. That's what it is. I have to read the freaking book. So in this life, it's really about going deep and taking an honest look at yourself, and then just kind of like, you know, having that be a big part of your life, you know, or having that lead your relationships, and then moving you towards that you know, that positive karma. Okay, so just peering here. So okay, that, let's see what it says just about sun and moon with it, with like very like minimized. Oh my god. So yeah, it says Sun and Neptune, vagueness of mind, unbalanced emotions, susceptible to treachery and deceit. And then Moon and Neptune, a dreamer, danger of self-delusion, susceptible to schemers, problems, and love affairs. Because like the problems in love affairs is like you can be very paranoid and like have trouble seeing like how like someone's real intentions, and think that like they have this like, you know, they're like ignoring you, for example, but really they're just busy or just having issues with like reading situations. And the fact that square Venus is like that there's definitely like a lot of karma when it comes to your love life. And your mates will be very karmic. And I have that also. As I roll my eyes. Okay, so well, I was gonna read Venus square. Wait, Venus. Hold on. Okay, yeah. So you even have, it doesn't show me, but you like I can see it. You even have Venus square Uranus, and basically like that one is very difficult because I mean it just adds even further to like this need for space, and like you like any sign of cleanliness you might take it as like where you need full rebellion. That's why you need someone so secure in themselves, and they kind of like need to like let you come to them, you know. And what it says in my quick book, too much unconventionality in relationships, imbalanced sensuality, choice of lovers and partners may bring unhappiness. So yeah, it's like it can just like make you make it can make relationships feel like they're like prison almost, right? And like they're like, and that they're blocking your way to your own individuality, which is like where your North Node is really pushing you. Like your destiny is to find that. So then actually next vertex, you know, in the 5th house, you know, that's a very fun one for love. You know, it's also very like your door to higher awareness is like through creativity and taking creative risks, but also like in love, you appear to be quite intense. Like you have quite intense relationships that are very transformative, and you learn a lot about yourself through these intense relationships. And yeah, this like this scorpionic part of you comes out a lot in love. Not that you have any Scorpio in your chart, but the 8th house part of you comes out in love. And yeah, like, you know, you want that like soul binding relationship. So it's a very particular type that it will take. And then yeah, So okay, so now the sun and moon like trine Uranus. So sun trine Uranus, like it's like leadership ability, strong initiative, a touch of inspiration and genius in thinking. I already talked about these. I like to give these. So this is the great one. The moon trine Uranus. This is like potential for like clairvoyance, and it's like strong intuition, open to change, and the future. You see, native attracts luck through change. So that literally, you see how it's all come together. You attract luck through change, through letting go, and through allowing yourself to just take these risks and go through change. So yeah, that's pretty much, let's see, have I missed anything? Oh yeah, and then you have Venus sextile Neptune, that's and no aspects of, and then yeah, Mars and Jupiter. So Venus in Neptune's like the best one for creativity. It's amazing. It's like heightened creativity, interest in mysticism, powerful artistic potential, but native needs firm direction. But that's like where your ability to like the painting part of being an artist and the imagination come together. And you know, with Pluto, passionate nature, love life marked by sudden changes intended to bring benefits, good financial ability. Yeah, definitely. Mars, you know, trine, did I say that already? Yeah, you know, Mars and trine Mercury, active, practical mind, courageous personality, literary ability, forceful debater. Like I said before, with your, you know, a great debater with the Uranus or the Mars and Gemini. Also, Mars and Gemini people, and with Venus and Gemini, you need to have an intellectual connection with your partner. That's so important. Like it won't work unless there's an intellectual connection. I just looked, and it's 4444. I keep seeing that. So there needs to be an intellectual connection, or like that's what's really important. Being able to have like long conversations, like where you guys are on the same page, and you know, where you guys just have like you know, like you learn a lot from each other, like someone very smart. Okay, so kind of wrapping up here, Venus and Jupiter. Strong willpower, optimism, positive outlook. This is a really good one. Inspires confidence, good leadership potential. So we've seen leadership all over. It's just about getting past the difficult parts of like the being vulnerable. Now, finally, you know, when we look at that 10th house ruled by Aries, Mars being the leader of the 10th house in the 12th house, you might be someone that self-sabotages in areas of career, or like in career in general, and you know, someone who like you really need to have like a very unique like once again based on your own individuality, that your own unique one, like completely unique individuality. Your career has to be based off of that, probably, for success, high success. And you know, midheaven, yeah, in Aries obviously is going to make someone who wants to like be their own boss, and you know, have like an active kind of like a career / like dharma, right? It's like a profession that gives like lots of independence and autonomy. Like yeah, like more of a leader than a follower. And then yeah, of course, Jupiter, I did talk about it, but like, you know, in Aries, it's someone who's very freedom loving, truth seeking. But you know, the fact that it's conjunct, you know, your Chiron in Aries, you know, I think of a Chiron in Aries. Aries, you know, rules like the first house, so it could be like your sense of self, even your body. Could like there could have been like some trauma related to that. Your sense of being may have been like violated in some way. You may feel like really fear asserting yourself, right? And that's shown all over your chart. And there can be like a overcompensation of like trying to be first at everything sometimes. I don't think that's how it is though. But then, you know, you might be someone who's destined to be like a big time healer, because Jupiter makes everything bigger. So finally, Black Moon Lilith, you know, in Aries in the 10th house, close to the midheaven. I'm trying to think of how it makes sense in in the context of your chart. Normally it's like in 10th house, it's like someone who's like willing to do anything to kind of like get to like succeed in career, and maybe even like being like a bully, like, and like kind of like a step over other people. But yeah, like there can be like a feeling of like feeling like other people are over asserting their rights. But and that you don't have like enough of a fair say in affairs, but in fact it's like the opposite way around, where you don't like realize the extent to how much you assert yourself. But like honestly, I don't see it that way. I mean, Black Lilith is, it's like, it's kind of just like it's ruled by Mars, so it's like, I think it just goes back to impulsive actions, related to your career that can kind of like come from this like dark unknown place that you need to do like shadow work. Being of service can like really help that, in diving into spirituality and really understanding yourself, and keep you away from like these impulsive, it's basically like impulsive actions out of nowhere that just, you're like, what the fuck, like, and then they affect your career and your overall dharma and your overall how you're seen. All right, that is it. Really amazing reading. And let me actually see one quick thing. Hold on. I'm just looking to see if there's any like big star conjunctions. Okay. Let's actually let's see. Let's actually open something up. I'll scan this. I'm tired. I slept a lot today. I'm still, like, my eyes are tired. Like not like not mentally, like more like physically. It's just my eyes feel kind of like, I don't know how to describe it. Okay, so 1526 Cancer. Let's just go through this quickly. See like what we find, if anything. Okay, no. Okay. So yeah, so your ascendant is Canopus, like fixed star Canopus is conjunct your ascendant. So that's like gives a love, even as a Cancer ascendant, a love for travel. You have to watch out for lawsuits, like for like instigating fights that lead to those. And but you can also channel these tendencies constructively, with astuteness and a sense of real earnestness. Okay. So next, okay, blah blah blah. Okay, so 12, 17, and then 9, 8, 8, 8, 10. 12, 17, 8, 10. Two last signs. Okay, so let's see if I find anything. Okay, so the moon, wait. Let's see if there's anything with that. So the moon can give like with Scott can It's actually very good. It gives good fortune, lasting happiness. So it's a good star conjuncting your moon. Yeah, so like emotional fortune and emotional happiness that lasts, because it's Jupiter is good, you know, it's like expansion, and Saturn is what lasts. And then the moon, it says new and influential friends associated with companies, public position but little prominence, valuable gifts, love of respectable women. So obviously a good one. And last thing I will say is conjunct your and my Venus. Oh, this one's has literally nothing. Never mind, it's not an important one. I don't know why they have this one written down. Let's see, it's Mars and Mercury. Yeah, whatever. It's not important. I'm only gonna talk about like the important stars. Okay, so yeah, that is essentially everything. Let me actually just pull up one last tiny little list. Okay, and just see if I have anything here. Oh, and your Mars is conjunct Capella. I didn't see that. You see that list and have Capella. That's a wealth star. So there could be that could be good for wealth. And then I think I understand what's going on. So it says it's 25. Oh, it says you're born. So it's giving the current position. That's why it wasn't. No. So why not show? That's really weird. So Saturn conjunct Procyon, good judgment, high position of trust, often in connection with land, may be adopted by aged couple from whom a good inheritance is obtained. Benefits from elderly friends, good health, domestic harmony, marriage to one of a higher station. All right, and then we look here, nothing. Oh, that's huge. So your descendant is conjunct Vega. So that's another very, very good star. You know, obviously, like it's just a very, very benefic star, and to have, you know, your descendant is like kind of like what you look for in another person. So it's actually like very, very good for like luck when it comes to you know, who you attract, basically. Yeah. So okay, then here we already talked about this. I talked about that, and yeah, and ascendant. Okay, so yeah, that is essentially everything I can tell you at this moment. Oh yeah, and part of fortune in the first house in Pisces, that's basically just saying that like when you're being of service and following that high energy of Pisces, but doing it in a way that's very individualistic and pioneering, you are in your flow state, and that's like the highest potential of your being. All right, awesome. I was like trying to keep this to an hour. Of course, I always have to go 90 minutes. Like, can never just stick to an hour. But yeah, hope you enjoy. This is a pleasure. Really interesting chart. Really similar to, like, lots of similarities in mine, which I always love to see. Let me know about the follow-up. You know, the offer stands $80 for follow-ups. Pretty reasonable, and we can definitely talk about a lot of things. If not, I totally understand. And it's been a pleasure. And thank you so much for your support on Instagram. And I'll talk to you later. Ciao.